Okay. So I would say thanks everybody for joining this session on Patrol Manager by Karthik SR. This is under the initiative of OSI Global, which is nothing but your free helping hand to deploy the open source solutions in your organizations. I'm very glad that you are here. Let us start with Karthik. Karthik?
Yeah, sir. We'll start it. Presenting my screen. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take the documentation from net only. Anyway, we have a documentation, but for easy thing, we'll take it from net only. For everyone's understanding. Okay. It will manage installation. Okay. We'll go to GitHub. It has all the installation instruction. Okay. There are three parts. First, we need to install Docker, then Patrol Manager, and then Patrol Engines. These are three things we need to do for bringing the Patrol Manager up.
And I have a small question. Is the Docker mandatory, or can we install it as in a virtual machine?
Yeah, in a virtual machine also you can install. There is instruction for that also. But Docker is very quicker and easier. That's why we picked up that. The instruction is also here only. You can see if here Patrol Manager deployment.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. You can do standalone also, but it is quicker with the Docker. Okay. I have plain machine with nothing installed, only CentOS, and updated the machine. Okay. Right now we'll first install Docker. Okay, this is a next machine, and my current OS is CentOS. Okay. First, we'll install the utilities, yum utilities, so that we can get the repository of the Docker. Are you able to see, or I want to maximize them?
It's okay, I think. Whatever makes you comfortable. If anybody has a challenge in seeing it or listening to what Karthik is saying, please do let us know, okay?
Okay. I'm right now installing the yum utils, that is utilities. Okay. Then I'm putting the repository for that Docker.
Like I have always been saying, please understand all these installation steps may be available on the internet, yet we are doing a demo session because we are often afraid that, might be that there is some challenge, some problem, or we do not know, we don't have the confidence that it will work or not. So this session is nothing but a facilitation that you can also do it yourself. You can install it on a virtual box, run it on your own machine, on your own laptop, easily without any problems.
Yeah. Okay. Right now repository is set. We'll enable that repository. You can see by default it is in disable state. To enable test channel, run the we'll be checking whether channel is running. Okay. Okay. Right now we'll install Docker. For installing latest version, you can use this command, or else if you want any downgraded version of the Docker, you can use this command and select that particular version of the Docker. For installing the latest version, you can use this command. Docker is installed. We'll start the Docker. And to check that Docker is working, we'll pull a code from Hello World code from Docker. Okay, we got hello from Docker. That means okay, these are for installing using the pack.
I would say, Karthik, when you are scrolling on the screen, go a bit slow so that people can clearly see which steps are you following. It's a different thing that we will in any case provide the installation document later.
Yes, I have the document also, but so that they can see from that we can install that. I'm showing this. Okay, I think Docker got installed. I told them first Docker, then Docker Compose. Docker Compose is also available here only. Install Docker Compose. And in Linux, we're installing. Okay. I'm downloading the Docker Compose. And I'm applying execute permission for that folder. That's why I downloaded. It has downloaded into that particular folder, user local bin Docker Compose. Okay, I'm giving that folder execute permission. And we can get a shortcut for that compose file. Whether that Docker Compose came up, we can use this version command. And if we get the output, that means a Docker Compose got installed. Okay, now 2 steps done. We'll go back to that Petrol Manager. Okay, I need Git for downloading this folder. I'll install Git.
So you are installing the Perl libraries now, right?
Git, yeah, Perl. I'm installing Git, sir, so that I can download from the Git repository.
Okay.
I'm getting that Petrol Manager repository to my local machine. Okay, got downloaded. And I'm moving to the directory Petrol Manager. Okay. Then Docker build Docker Compose build. This will this is a plain repository. It is there right now. It will build the Docker container so that we can bring it up. What basically it is doing, it is pulling all the required like softwares and it will install. Right now that Docker Composer is building the file by downloading all the required softwares like Python, SQL, Postgres SQL, Python, pip, Python, everything it is downloading through that Docker Composer repository. Okay.
As this installation is going on, I thought to check when Vivek was specifically mentioning about CMonster. So, is that a copy of Patrol Manager like CMonster, or is it completely different product? Like I was not aware of that.
CMonster is a different product.
Okay.
It uses Patrol Manager for the vulnerability scan engines.
Oh, okay. So it has additional features, but one part of it is Patrol Manager.
Yeah, but CMonster also has a limitation that since it is a commercial version product, only few things work in the community version, and that is why we decided that we will rather go with Patrol Manager instead of CMonster.
Great.
Okay, it got installed and we'll bring up that Docker container. Okay, I think AD106. It is up. Since I didn't give that ampersand symbol, it is still in that process. That's why I opened in another terminal. Okay, you see. Oh, yes. Okay, the Patrol Manager Docker is up right now. Okay, we will be able to see it now.
So it works on port 8083 by default, right?
Yeah, by default.
Okay.
It has the information here, like if you can say go to HTTP localhost 8083. See, because it's a CentOS, I'm opening another machine. And default password is admin and bonjour 1 hash.
That is, yeah. Does it normally take this much time to open the web interface?
First time, sometimes it will take time.
Okay.
And what exactly is the approximate resource we are looking at in CPU cycle and RAM?
The default what they are giving is 4 CPU and 8 GB RAM and 60 GB hard disk hardware requirements. But we gave little low, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi Vivek.
Arvind?
Hey, why on so short notice man today?
We sent it on 2 days back, no?
No, I am just getting today. It's 3 p.m.
We posted it in the group also, no? We posted it in the group 2-3 days back. Then invitation, yes, I sent today.
Okay. The thing is right now, Patrol Manager is up, but we don't have any engines to scan the vulnerabilities. There is 0. First we'll install the engines, then we'll add it to this Patrol Manager. Okay, if you want to install like deploy in backend from sources, you can install this following this command you can install, or else you can use Docker. Okay, next we'll go for Patrol engine. I'm downloading the Patrol engine from Git repository. Sorry. Yes. Okay. By mistake, I cancelled the download.
If you are planning to remove it now, then you have to use -F -R. F for force minus before that. Yeah, RM space -F minus capital R. R is for recursive to remove the entire folder. It's gone?
One more, sir. Yeah. Thanks for the help. I will download Git. Already exists. Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. I removed Petrol Manager.
Instead of engines, huh? So now do we have to reinstall?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
Okay.
Sorry, Vivek, my bad. It just skipped off my mind. And when I was going through the notes on group now, it just got skipped.
It's okay. It's okay. So, by the way, while Karthik is installing it, let me also tell you that we had couple of critical things to take care, so we were not able to spend time on doing the sessions here for the group. But now, all that last 2-3 months hard work has paid, and we have more tools ready for demonstration. For example, we can do Infection Monkey, which is a penetration testing tool. We may be planning to do it next week if time permits. Second, we may also do the teapot honeypot, which is also very good tool. I would say every CIO should have that in their pocket in the network where their infrastructure is running, so that if there is a breach, they come to know immediately. So, and plus, yes, there are many other tools also that we are experimenting with right now. And if everything goes fine, that we are also looking into replacing Active Directory with open source solutions. We are right now experimenting on that. And this is September. So most probably around November or December, perhaps we can do a complete hands-on session on how to replace Active Directory with open source solutions.
Input install, will install manager.
So, Vivek, while you guys are trying to replace this Active Directory, which tool are you looking at? Because long back I had replaced it for one of our healthcare companies with Open LDAP and Samba 3, but then there were a lot of issues in the Samba 3 for policies. And I have understood that the Samba 4 has now features where you can deploy on policies using the SMD4. But are you guys using, I understand there are other tools. I don't recollect there was a app which was specifically made, but are you guys looking at Open LDAP and Samba or combination or some other different tool itself, or you're
So-
testing on multiple things.
Sachin wants us to reveal all the secrets right here, right now. Huh?
It's okay.
No, no, sure. Let me tell you.
Open it up for Samba. I'll
See,
skip the
Open
rest.
LDAP only takes care of the authentication part. Okay, it does not have any relation with the group policy objects. Okay, so in Active Directory there are multiple services. Authentication is only one service, right? So
Right.
Open LDAP will take care of the authentication. Samba, on the other hand, which is actually a very good tool to replace your file server on Windows, also has the capability to act as the domain controller. However, that also doesn't have the complete features or complete capability to replace the Active Directory domain controllers or all the Active Directory services. Okay. So when we started working on this front last year August, actually, ever since we have been researching which tool, which solution will suit more. So couple of solutions we evaluated. NetEdge is one. Second was ClearOS. Third was PBIS. And fourth was Zential. So right now we are experimenting on Zential, which seems very promising. It has all the backend tools like DNS, DHCP, Active Directory services, file serving, firewall, proxy, all integrated into one operating system itself. And you can pick and choose which functionalities you want to run through Zential.
Okay.
So we are going through that research right now in the final stages. So it will take us approximately 2 more months or perhaps 3 more months to see if we are able to successfully migrate Active Directory to an open source platform. And if that happens, we will definitely come back to this group, share our learnings, share the installation, documentation, challenges, and benefits, so that you also can look into this direction.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, sir. I think this Petrol engine I have downloaded, and next step is we need to configure. There is already a configuration file in the Petrol engine. It is named as JSON.sample in all the engines. If you can see, CD.
I think it is small, yeah.
Yes, my keyboard caps lock problem.
So just so that you know, the JSON file is a template basically. Okay, this
It
JSON
has all the
file.
port numbers, everything it has,
Yeah.
and what are the scans it need to take. All the configuration part it has, it is in the JSON file. Every engine has its own JSON file. You can see that cortex.json file. It has everything like what is the configuration, which port you need to do, like HTTP 9001. This is a configuration file for building that engine. Okay.
So I think you need to rename it from JSON.sample to JSON, right? Or you will be downloading a fresh file.
I will be renaming that file.
Okay, all right. Got
Okay.
it.
Every engine has its own file.
Got it.
Okay. What I'll do means already I'll use this copy command to rename all the files at once. Okay. All the engines has its own file, so that I'm renaming it dot sample as dot JSON. Okay, all the engines JSON file is renamed. Now we'll start building the Docker for these engines. You can bring up each like one by one each engine, or you can use this .sh file to bring all the engines at once.
Okay, so when you give this command scripts build docker engine sh,
It will take little time.
yeah. So basically what it is doing, it is reading each JSON file and integrating it, compiling it to build that particular engine, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It is giving some.
In this, it will take little time. Many of the time, all the engines will not. Docker will be up, but engines will not work. We may have to stop that Docker and rebuild that particular engine, and then we need to try if it is not working. If a particular engine is not working.
Okay. How many engines are there total by default in this?
I think 14 is there, sir.
And how many you are able to use successfully?
As of now, like we were using 6.
Okay.
So 7. Yeah, 7.
I think we tried up to 10 also, right?
Yeah, 10 we tried. Sometimes this Nessus is coming up and going down.
Yeah.
It is not properly coming up. That's why. We can discuss something else if you want, because this will take more time.
I think we made a mistake. We should have tried with 1 or 2 engines, but it's okay. I think there are a couple of things that we should discuss while it is getting installed. This is a good opportunity. One is that we faced the trouble that if you install the Dockers and everything, after that we were not able to install the SSL certificate on the Docker. Perhaps it is because we are very new to Docker. This was our first deployment on the Dockers. That was also around 2-3 months back only. So we do not know how to install SSL certificate on Docker. If any of you know, then please feel free to extend that help to us. So what we rather did, we created an HTTP proxy and routed the traffic to Patrol Manager through that, so that it is still secure. That is one. Second, in the beginning, I think Manikant asked that why Docker and why not on the VM. Karthik was saying that it is easy. Also, second thing, I think now things are moving the Docker way. Wherever it is possible, it saves the resources, right? Because it is running not on your entire virtual machine as a single process, but it is working as a container on your virtual machine, so that you can accommodate more workloads on the virtual machine. That is also important. Third thing, I would say, Karthik, can you come back to the dashboard part of it? Meanwhile, we can explain how the dashboard looks. You have it on your screen behind this terminal,
yes.
yeah? See, so this is on the left side, you see a very colorful table, right? This is an outstanding table, I would say, that will help you understand the risk in your organization. So if you see, I am talking about the first table on the top, which says asset grades. Here, Karthik, would you like to explain the meaning of grades and criticality?
Asset grades, yes, sir. In this low, medium, high, that is the criticality of that particular machine. We can give any switches or any machine which has high critical or that machine has is important to our organization, we can give it as I. For example, like if there is some server, if it is down, we will not be able to access any of our services. That means we can give that server as high, and medium and low according to our priorities. We can give assign a value like low, medium, high criticality to that particular machine, and with using the like after scanning the network, it will give in this A B C D E F. In this, it will give all the ratings for that, not ratings, number of vulnerabilities available in that
Under
particular
each
machine.
category. Yeah.
In VMs, yeah.
So, like,
In this, if I and F is there, that means it is very, very critical. We need to look at it as soon
as the
possible.
first priority.
Yeah, first priority, and that is P0 priority. And when you go up from here, it is like critical, something like that.
Yeah, just to add to that, it is a risk ratio of your asset actually, if you find out risk rating. If your higher critical and high vulnerabilities are found, that means your organization is at higher risk.
True.
Yeah.
True.
If your organization's having low priority or low criticality asset, just like single desktop, but still there is a high vulnerability is available, your organization is still okay, just to say in terms of other impacts, right?
True.
So this table gives you the glimpse of your complete organization asset, whatever you are scanning, either in terms of network or servers or desktops. So this will give you a holistic picture of your organization in terms of your risk assessment.
Yeah. Here, just to make it easy for everybody to understand, in this table where you see low, medium, high, right? Karthik, is it okay if you can zoom it so that we can just focus on this particular table? Make it so big. Yeah. Thank you. That's all. Good.
Yeah.
See here, you see this low, medium, high. So high is this rating is given by you. We will show it to you in another 5-10 minutes. That when you scan the assets, when you scan your subnet, for example, let us say your firewall is also there, your servers are also there. Now, maybe that your firewall is the most critical component, so you want to give it high priority. While a switch, if is impacted, might be a low priority because it is, just serving to a particular meeting room, perhaps. Just an example. So you define the criticality, low, medium, or a high, which means you categorize your devices in these three categories. However, the grades of the issues based on their CVE score are categorized under A, B, C, D, E, and F. So if you see an F category severity and that count is say in any of the high column, then it means that you should look at that first, starting from bottom right corner. Right? So that makes your life easy because your entire vulnerability score is visible to you in just one table. Thank you, Karthik. We can go back to talk about the assets and how do you scan. You can add perhaps some assets in the meanwhile.
Okay.
So that, when the engine comes up, we can run the scans.
Yes. I'll ask. You can do
More than half an hour.
Sorry?
Engine's availability will take more than half an hour because I think he has run to all engines, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He could have been done just an Nmap or one more VirusTotal or something like.
Agreed. It's okay. I think we can cover up many things during that. We can cover the assets. How do you add assets? How do you add scans, schedule scans? What are alerts, rules? We can discuss everything else. And then in the end, we will run these scans, actual scans.
Okay. And for adding asset, you can add a particular subnet or one single asset also you can add. I'll give one dummy window inside. Here you can give the criticality of that particular machine. If you know the OS, like you can give that, or else you can give all. You know that asset is created. For creating a subnet, same way. This is because of my VPN connectivity. Let's go.
Sorry?
My VPN connection. Yes. Okay, you can add any subnet. I'm giving you need to select subnet and criticality like medium, high, low, and all. For adding scans and we need engines to be up.
Meanwhile, you can show the rules, alerts.
This we can specify like particular asset. If whatever the condition we give, like if it is criticality, vulnerability is more, you can ask it to send a mail to us. You need to select the finding asset and a value. Like for example, any name, if it is exactly equal to or something, if any particular vulnerability you are searching for or known vulnerability, you can just give that conditions and you can trigger a mail. Since nothing is there, that's why I'm not able to display it.
For the scans and condition, you need to wait for adding of your scanners.
That's and scans. We need to do the scans also. I think I'll see any machine is up means any engine is up means we'll take that one and we'll take the example.
Karthik, how will you know if the engines are up?
You can use the Docker PS command. It will list all the Dockers running as of now.
Can we go back to the terminal and see how does it look like right now?
Yes. And logging.
Check the current execution process first.
Yeah, true.
Sorry, current?
Check current terminal where you have executed those Docker statements.
Building Petrol Cortex Docker engine.
So it is still just in the build state.
Yes, yeah. No, I thought of showing that Patrol Manager is already up.
So without engine, it won't do anything.
Yes, yeah.
Without engine, you cannot run the car, driver, or anything.
Yeah, true.
You're also using the same tool?
Sorry,
What?
Krishna?
You're also using the same Patrol Manager in your company?
I was the first one who was using this.
Oh, okay.
Actually, me and Vivek did a R&D after that.
If you can see,
If you remember, we have done a SIME monster kind of assessment, if you remember in the first session.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the port owl out of it, not everything else. So I pulled that out and built on only port owl system. Then we had a discussion with Wazoo and Kibana and Elasticsearch for log management and all those things. So I combine these three systems together and single system for your vulnerability assessment in terms of port owl as in glimpsing and a little bit detailed monitoring was including your authentication failures and other stuff. And on top of it, that WinLog will give you the little more log details of your user behavior, right? That is a single security system, so I called as ISMF. So Incident Security Management System 1. And just for the log and other stuff, log and monitoring, I have created separately that Zabbix. So currently we are running two, you can say VMs. Complete monitoring is on Zabbix on one VM and complete security assessment and monitoring and log management on one system.
So we can replace Wazoo with this Patrol?
No, actually this gives you, you can say complementary kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It is much better than Wazoo because Wazoo need your agent to work on.
No, also, I was telling Vivek, Wazoo, the problem is the vulnerability detector is not working properly, even now.
No. Actually, if you are having agent, then it will work good. I can.
No. The agent also, even if you have a completely patched machine, it will show so many vulnerabilities.
Yes, it does shows that because it does not go inside the system and does that activity. What it will do is it detects the operating system and based on the operating system, it shows you what are the vulnerabilities against for the operating system. Okay. So in that case, Wazoo is not giving you 100%, but Wazoo give you which port owl doesn't give. It's kind of a setting that you can do in your registry, which will help you to protect your system even further. Since we have updated our system, but we have not modified those registries for the security. Because of that reason, it is still sustain those vulnerabilities.
Also, I will say one more thing, what Arvind is saying is right. Also, please understand, Wazoo has its own usage as well. For example, in Wazoo, you also have the log management. So it will also categorize your logs, system logs, how many failed login attempts, how many files were accessed and all that, which is not there in Patrol. Okay. So, like I said in the beginning of this session, you may need to run multiple tools to give you the complete outlook of your security landscape. You can't really depend on only one tool. Right.
See, it is something like port owl, you use it for your audit because it gives you the final state of your systems.
Yeah.
Whereas Wazoo is your consistently monitoring your system even if that is there.
Day-to-day basis, yeah.
Okay, what I feel it and what I have observed and I'm working with my team, thing is that in Wazoo, you need to just figure out vulnerabilities and why it is causing to show you that vulnerability. So if you see the NIST framework on that, it is still shows you, do you want to see the username on the login screen? As a security practice, you should not show that up. So as per you, it is again still a vulnerability in your system that username is getting displayed at login screen. So it suggests you to go and modify the registry entry so that you will not see the username. It will come as a login screen. You need to enter the username also. You need to enter the password also.
Yeah, very
So
important
that-
point.
there
Very
are
small
30
step.
to 40 criteria for Windows, which Wazoo scan for that kind of a scenarios.
No, that and all is working fine actually. But what is not working properly is the OS vulnerabilities. For example, like when I wrote to them, they said they still have an issue because they use this NVD, National Vulnerability Database,
Correct.
but it is still not perfect actually because I have Windows servers which are patched till the last month, and it will show so many vulnerabilities are there.
Yeah, I know it shows 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have seen that. However, our servers are patched for October and November as well.
Yes.
I know that, but what I am feeling is it is still referring to those registry entries which was existing since the beginning of the Windows. That's why it is still showing us to those. If we
So
have
when I spoke to them, they said they are going to fix it in the next version. Like, it will be more accurate.
next version is going to be more time. So which version you are using currently?
3.13.
I'm using the same. Okay. When we discussed about that, at that time it was 7.2, 3.72.
Yes.
But then technically, if it shows up all the vulnerabilities from the starting or the inception, it doesn't make sense unless it should be only showing the vulnerabilities which are existing on a system at that point of time.
So you can rely on Port Owl on that case.
Okay.
But there is one more thing in Patrol. What it does is, let's say you are having some legacy system, which is quite vulnerable in today's time, right? If you check for this will show you, okay, your Apache or your IISS older version, and this is having these vulnerabilities. And it always show you that. So, beyond that, there is no security patches for that particular system, and this system cannot be patched. So what you want to do? And that system is your internal system, is not exposed to anybody. You can go into the system and can modify, this is for the information. You can keep the criticality, but risk, you can make it as a information and make your comment for internal. If somebody asks why you have put it just for the information. So you can say this is an internal system, not accessible from the outside. So vulnerability landscape is just an internal within the server room. So limited. So you can reduce the risk and you can move your asset from high risk to low risk.
Okay. Meanwhile, Karthik, is it showing done or
No.
am I mistaken? Karthik, you are on mute.
Yes, sir. It is like building one by one engine, sir.
Okay. Is
Right now,
any
build-
engine done or nothing?
No, sir. It need to first build it,
I
then
suggest
need
you-
to bring it up.
I suggest you close this up.
Okay. We'll bring one engine up, then we'll see.
Yeah, I told you also when we were doing this activity,
Okay.
you can move whatever engine you do not want out of that engine directory.
Okay.
Okay, you can move those directories to outside. You can keep Nmap as of now, just one,
Okay.
build that up and just execute. Nmap will take 5 minutes or so.
We'll cancel this in that case.
Yeah, you can cancel.
I don't know if cancelling will not crash anything.
No, nothing will be done.
Okay.
Because anyhow, you are going to rebuild it up.
Okay.
CD engines,
Yeah, and
CLS. There are so many, right? So you can say come out of engines, cd dot dot, cd space dot dot, yeah. mkdir disabled.
sorry.
mkdir make directory disabled. Any name, yeah.
Can you give this command again?
Any name, whatever name you want to give this folder. Let's say disabled.
He's just creating a folder so that he can place all the engine there, which will
I
not
got-
be found.
But we can keep only, we can go into that particular nmap and we can run only that nmap, no? That option is available.
That is
No,
what.
no, no. Then you need to modify that script I told you, then only nmap will work.
Karthik,
Yes, sir.
understand. Just create the folder saying disabled. DISABELED.
Okay. No,
Here,
I got what
Sorry.
I got it. No, I got it. But what I was saying is, we can go to that particular.
No, you cannot, because in that case you will have to
You need to
modify the
modify
script,
script.
installer script also. But if you remove the folder, then it will assume that these engines are not there. You do not want them installed. That is the easy way. So just go back to the terminal window. Just say disabled. Yeah. Okay. Now you have to
Go to engines,
Hello. Yeah.
engines.
go to engines. Yeah. Now
MV.
MV move command. Huh?
Space, this API, press tab, space, dot dot forward slash,
Okay.
forward slash, disabled, capital D you put it, right?
Yeah.
Tab, enter.
Hey dude, I would say one thing. No, why do it one by one? Just say
You can
move everything.
No, I was just checking, man. Now you can define all these directories.
Move everything. Put MV star.
So we need,
MV star. Instead of API void,
star.
just say star. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Enter. So
He has put a root folder, man. Remove the root folder.
yeah, something is happening with your keyboard, I think.
Enter.
No, wrong syntax.
Hey, don't put dot forward slash, na man. Just delete these two, dot and forward slash.
No such file directory.
Don't give the complete path. What is it? Say PWD here.
Hey man, just you can type it, na. Just like put B, burp and press tab, it will continue.
I'm saying move everything in one go, da.
And how much time you want to spend then?
Star is not working.
You are not on the console, Vivek.
Huh?
You are not on console.
So what happened? I did not understand.
BU, press tab.
God, we are taking longer route, man.
Guys, looks like the file you moved. Can you do the ls, please?
Sorry, Raman, what are you
It's
saying?
gone that way.
So
Sir,
the
everything is
last
gone.
command,
He has
the
moved
last command,
everything.
star to slash in the root folder.
Okay.
Move star to slash. Everything move to the slash folder.
Now say MV.
LS, check it out first.
It is
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now this travel config tarf environment file.
Huh?
Which one?
This trail.
Travis.
And nmap.
No, not like that.
Space.
And
You can say forward slash engines. Enter. ls. Just check it out, ls.
Xbox.
Yeah. Go to cd engines. ls. Yeah.
Nmap and Travis.
Yes, both are here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can run your build command.
Build command.
cd. You have to be outside the engines.
cd dot enter.
No, I already came out, sir.
I don't. Okay, yeah.
Docker compose and Docker.
Inside engines. No, na.
I mean inside engine PW.
No.
Sorry, CD.
No.
Where is your configuration file?
No, 1 minute. I know. 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. It starts the building is done.
Start engine.
The nmap Docker is up right now. You can see here. The port 5001.
Can you select that line so that everybody, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see it. We'll add this engine. Engines, add engine. And map.
Click on localhost.
You want to put it as localhost here?
Yeah, you can use 127.
Okay.
Local 127.0.0.1. What is the complete error? Can you click on it again and see?
Check the engine status in the configuration.
Where is this configuration?
URL itself /till-info.
Here. What do I need to type?
Just type 1 to
I
27
think
dot.
there is a configuration URL. This is localhost, yeah, right?
No, not localhost. He's logged on to a virtual.
Yeah, this is the local, not localhost. This is the one of the server.
Just type the same thing with 127. Just API URL. Please copy this API URL and open that in the window. See if it is working. You have done. Go to the configuration again. This edit button on the engine. Did you run this, Docker?
You have executed the start engine, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Did you start or not?
Yeah, stopped, and after that only it is coming here, no? Petrol and map.
Okay.
I'll try to bring up some other.
Now, Karthik, do one thing. No, hold on. Go to petrol. Go to petrol interface.
Okay.
Go to engine. Here, no, it in second tab. Yeah.
Engine.
Okay. Edit. Just copy this. Copy this API URL. Huh.
Yeah.
Just and see if it is opening in a new window. It is showing the page info or not.
It is showing, sir, this one.
Dude, this is IP is different, no?
No, 171 only, sir. This site.
Dude, here it is 127. Correct? No. Can you please paste it at least in the browser and see if it is giving the result?
That is not my local machine, sir.
So then do the curl from that machine itself, na? You can do curl, or you can use elinks or links or any other CLI browser, right?
I can use this one.
Yeah.
It will. Yeah, it is showing us.
If it is not local to that, then definitely go for 172 IP only.
Yeah.
It will work on local.
Karthik, open the browser interface, da.
What?
Open the browser interface.
Okay.
Third tab.
Browser interface.
Third tab itself.
Third tab.
Okay.
Refresh the third tab.
Yes.
It is showing the result, right? This is expected.
Yeah.
So which means engine should be there. Now go back to petrol.
Copy this API and
copy this
paste
URL,
it.
paste it there.
Okay.
Save it. Update engine. Ayo.
Update I did, sir.
Okay. Just refresh it. Engine error.
Can you log in, copy this URL till info and check it out? Is it reflecting?
Yes.
Yes, it is coming.
Okay. Anyway, like we'll bring one more
Engine.
this engine.
Okay.
Then we'll try.
Move one more folder in the same, and then you can run the same script.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 1 minute. We'll bring virus total.
Arachne also works easily, no? Bring that one.
Which one, sir?
Arachne.
1 minute. Arachne.
By anyway, will restarting this Docker will work? I'm just suggesting, because you added it into the Patrol Manager, and then now will that help by just even one try before we move to the next one?
If I restart I need to bring it up again.
The Nmap engine only.
Okay.
Will that help?
I think we'll bring up one more Nmap. Sorry, not Nmap. Arachne.
You can restart that Nmap now again. But do one thing, rebuild this Nmap and then restart.
Okay.
You need to go to the engine again.
Can you check the Docker PS? Which one is assigned to this?
It is not showing. It is not coming up. It came up. Okay, Arachne also came up. Okay, what is the port number? Is 5005.
Yeah, so engine is working. Should we try integrating it? Okay, add a new scan engine. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Connection error thrown by.
See, it is saying no route to host. Failed to establish a new connection. No route to host.
Okay, I think I'll try to disable firewall and check.
Did you disable SE Linux also?
No, sir.
No wonder.
I didn't disable.
Might be that is causing this trouble to you. And map is ready now.
Okay, Nmap came up now. Arachne, that also came up after disabling firewall.
See? Basic.
Okay.
Alrighty, good. Let us go ahead.
Yeah, we'll scan that particular. Add a new scan. Test.
Click on test.
Which one?
Asset. You're just scanning only one.
Yeah, we added only one host.
Yeah, only one.
Okay.
Otherwise, it may take more time in scanning as well, no? So we don't want to waste time for everybody.
Scan performed.
It is doing the scan now. That is a good news.
And that submit also we try to do one more scan.
Sorry. Okay, now you are adding the scan definitions, right?
That is,
So for everybody's knowledge, please understand you have to
scan
do.
definition.
Yeah, just give me 1 second, Karthik. See, there are 4 steps in Petrol. One, that you add assets. Second, that you add engines. Third, that you need scans. And fourth, that you run scans. Okay. So now we are adding a scan here. You can tell whether it will run automatically, periodically, or on demand. Start now, later, schedule at particular time. You know, all of that. Okay. Go ahead, Karthik, please.
Yes. Okay.
See, you can
There's
see
nothing found in
here.
that server. That's why.
Sorry.
There's nothing found on that server.
You can click on that. It will give you the information inside. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I will say, Karthik, first of all,
Which
come
one?
on the left side in the table. Yeah. See, click here or click on that one against A, high A. Yeah. See, this is
This
showing.
is subnet. This is under scanning as of now. So
Yeah,
click
come
on
back.
that green one itself.
Come back to the high A. That is what I said. No. Yes. Click on this. See now, guys. See how easy it is. So you clicked on the score. The unit, and then it is showing you that which host is in the problem. Now it is showing demo Petrol 172.16.3.170 is the host. Criticality is given by you, which means for you this device is a critical device. Score is given by Petrol, which means the vulnerability identified on this machine is A category, which is very low. Okay. Now click on this. Click on this host, please.
Okay, it's loading.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. Started network scan full.
Yeah, so that is why it is slow. See, it is information category alert only on this, which says failed to resolve this particular IP address, because I think okay, so this says nmap error unresolved. This is only an information severity, nothing else. You can safely ignore it. It says status is new. Now, Karthik, can you explain each part, that how you can resolve it, what all things can you do from here?
Yeah, so like if it is in, I think it's better if you can explain, sir.
Sorry.
See, this asset classification is by default is critical, right? But there is no severity scan done. If you want to resolve this, that means you need to put a DNS entry into your DNS server so that it can resolve back on this IP address what this is stands for. Secondly, if any additional scan information you want to put it across, click on plus button. That is an action item. Okay, so here you will find all these details. You can say update info of this system. Update info. So here you can see what was the thing, what error has been come across. It is a info just like that. Come down. Which tags it relates to, what solution you have provided, what is the CSV score and all those things when scan runs. So you will have the complete detail of this and you can modify these details as per you. Okay. So these are the details here. If some severity comes in, then it will give you the CVE number. It will give you the resolution, what you need to do on the system. What is the version of that particular severity, or let's say you are using old version of SSH or Apache, it will give you complete detail. What is the version? What is the vulnerability as of now? What are the triggers that you need to take care of? And then if you want to do some update manually or you want to exclude it, you need to come here and update your assets.
Very good engine for web application scanning.
Yes, it does web application scan also.
Okay. Which engine do you use? The Arachne?
Archini and VirusTotal also you can use for
Right now,
malware kind of activity on the web traffic. There is no other system on this network?
No, I actually don't want to perform scan on my network. That's why there was one more network.
Okay.
I think there's nothing there found.
So you can do one thing.
Karthik,
Sorry, please.
Sorry?
Karthik,
Yeah, come.
I saw in the engines WP scan, so I understand that you can use it for WordPress scan. But are there engines for Joomla or other CMS platforms? Like if I have a website which is external and running on a different platform other than WordPress, are there engines which can be downloaded and added here?
We have not tried that, honestly.
No, in this it is not.
Okay.
Yeah, in this WordPress only it's available.
Okay. So WP scan is pretty famous, so I thought maybe there are other engines for different websites like Joomla and all.
These are the engines.
Okay.
Right now in Petrol Engine this is the engine available.
So I think what majorly I have operated on, and I think Vivek's team is also operating on, is internal scanning on maybe VirusTotal, Archini and others. So there is no specific for Joomla or something, but specific for web vulnerability it is there. Okay.
But there are many other tools available for web application scanning.
Right. So even the SSL scan is there. Our DNS, VirusTotal for URLs and malware activities, and there is a secure application which is Archini we use. So this can also be used, as well as you can use Nessus, which is pretty widely used across organizations. So we are facing a challenge in Nessus as of now. If you see, there's a star button is also there for certain things.
So Nessus, there is a very tricky story. Nessus, they did, the way they authenticate the API, they changed that mechanism completely, I think around 2 years back. So after that, what is happening, Nessus through any other application, if you are running, will have problems until that application has the API authentication for Nessus sorted out at the back end. Otherwise, Nessus will not work with
Okay.
any other tool.
So is it possible to add the commercial license for the Nessus into this? Like if you, would be the community version, right? So if I have a Nessus paid version, can I upgrade and still make it work with this?
So we will have to look at your configuration of the Nessus engine. If they provide a JSON template, then we can integrate that in Patrol Manager.
Does it use for OS vulnerabilities? Which tool does it use? Which scan engine?
Sorry?
Yes, it does for the OS vulnerabilities also.
There are multiple engines for that, Krishna.
Okay.
So you can use Nessus, Nmap. Karthik, can you come back to the list of engines that you were projecting?
Because Nmap is only OS fingerprinting. I don't think it will show OS vulnerabilities, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, Nmap will show it's only OS fingerprinting. I don't think it will do OS vulnerabilities.
Nessus will do that, right?
But you say Nessus will not work, no? Because of the API issue.
So that is the point I'm saying. If you know how to set the authentication part of Nessus through the API, that will also work for you.
Okay.
If you do not know how to, then that is not going to work. Second, like Sachin said, that if you have the paid version and that comes with the separate engine, JSON engine template, then that also can work for you. Another option. Third is that in CMonster, they have sorted out Nessus API authentication backend with Nessus. So if you are running CMonster, Nessus works there.
Okay.
And just to add that to that, Krishna, there are scripts from Nmap for vulnerability also. If you go to their websites,
Okay.
vulnerability hyphen the command, and you can specifically either put the scripts, the name, for example, there are firewall scripts, so you can use Nmap for vulnerability also, which you can download this, or you can just give but definitely it's not as good as Nessus or OpenVAS or other tools. But yeah, they have options actually. You can do vulnerability on that.
See, this is the best part of using open source, One solution is not solving your purpose, go for another one. Since there is no cost, you are not emotionally or financially attached to that particular solution alone.
Very true, very true.
You can throw any day when it stops serving your purpose. You can just discard it and move to a next tool.
Yeah, very true. I was just curious to understand, like, any of your organizations is supporting or donating to open source programs. Like when you find something is useful, you say, okay, yeah, Ritna, it's really added value to our system. Let's donate some money. Like, I'm just curious to know, has anybody of you done that?
Money wise, I do not know. I don't want to comment on my company's behalf. From the OSI point of view, if you see, this is how we are contributing, that we are spreading awareness, we are making people more competent on using open source solutions, so that there is an awareness, there is an adaptability in the market for it. Monetary, I am not aware which all companies may be doing it. I'm not very sure about it.
Okay. I was just curious because sometimes what happens is, over a period of time, you understand that you had a cost involved, a very high cost involved if you're incorporating proprietary solution.
Yeah.
And then you ask the management, it's not very high, but maybe, just to keep the project or that developer or the project going very well.
I think community editions are coming up just like that. Just we 10, 11 guys are sitting together and we are working towards this tool. And someday we think, if there is some developer among us, okay, can we build this kind of a utility inside it? If we are able to do that, then we are able to contribute back to them that yes, we have built on top of it. Now this is the newer version of the same, and we contributed that. But if monetary kind of a thing, I don't think organization level we should be able to do, because that question comes back from the organizations.
Yeah, it can also come from people like us, because we define, like I have sold it to my organization. We have contributed to few open source products like M-Remote and all, where we were actually making sense before we used that Vision app, which was a program which was pretty expensive, and then we moved to M-Remote for all the. So I believe as CIOs or IT leads, we take the initiative and say, okay, maybe it would not make a very high impact, but yeah, it's kind of like motivating few set of people that, okay, people are appreciating other than, you contributing to the code. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So we can think of, if as an organization or as an organization we grow bigger and bigger, then we can contribute back on in monetary part as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Vivek is not responding actually now.
I have a different point of view. I think instead of sitting idle, whichever capacity you can contribute in, we should look into that opportunity. Many people are using open source, but are they contributing in any ways? Not only necessarily writing the code, are they contributing by handing it over to other person, other team, other organizations? I don't know, and that is where I guilty as charged, I started this initiative that we should do our bit to spread the awareness about open source. And it has always been a dream in my last 26 years of career that one day I will run into an organization where everything, Active Directory or anything, any proprietary applications, instead on the server side, we will run everything open source. And I think if everything goes fine in another 3-4 months, perhaps I will achieve that dream that I have lived for a long time. And then I will definitely come back to you. This is a commitment. Then we will definitely come back to you and share that knowledge with you, that how to do it, what are the challenges, benefits, and whether it is really doable, in what scenarios it can be done. Lot of things. So we will come back to you, don't worry. We are doing a lot of experiments on a lot of other tools also. Firewall, for example, we are trying to build the skill set on pfSense, which is far better firewall than many small time firewalls, proprietary firewalls. Squid as a proxy, how you can protect your browsing experience for the users using Squid, and Zential, for example, Active Directory, and many other things.
Vivek, for firewall you can also consider OPNsense. That is also very good.
Sorry, OpenSense.
OPNsense.
Yeah, I think we are determined now to go with pfSense.
Okay.
Yeah, we are doing a lot of experiment on that already.
So you're replacing your CyberRoam or firewall?
Yeah, proprietary firewall will go off.
Okay.
So you will be going with support or without support? Is it like completely
on our own?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for past 1 year plus, we have deployed a lot of solutions with the help of friends like Krishna, Arvind, Raman, and everybody. And we did not need any support so far. If at all required, if we were stuck, that was in this state of installation itself, that we were not able to make something work. And once that is sorted out, then we never got stuck on anything else. So open source also provides you this flexibility, It is not like in a proprietary application where you are stuck, you do not know what to do, and then you are looking for support. You should not need a support. That is how the infrastructure should run. That is what I believe.
How is the Proxmox running?
Oh, awesome. Outstanding. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Okay. All right. So I think we are done with the... Sorry. Please go ahead, Raman.
Vivek, I wanted to put some more sessions on SonarQube, which I would take.
Oh, why not?
You can do
Certainly.
the triggers and you can have
So-
more sessions on some security tools and
Awesome.
these things.
You would like to do a session on SonarQube?
Yeah, SonarQube and perhaps one or two or more tools of
All
those
right.
sort.
So Raman, on a lighter note, you got to do it as early as possible because we are also experimenting with SonarQube as well.
That I'll connect with you one-on-one in this decade itself.
Sure.
Don't worry.
Sure. Definitely.
Then we
Any,
can write a code and we can do it.
Hey, Rahman, next week, huh? What is the problem in next week's session?
No, so we are setting it up for this point of time. We have certain things pending to be like solved. And I found that to be very useful in the actual practical life. So we will definitely do it.
sure. I will connect with you on that.
Yeah, sure.
Now,
Vivek, thank you very much. It was a very awesome session, and it motivates us to implement certain things in our IT department as well. Kudos to you. Thank you very much, Vivek.
no problem, sir. Our pleasure.
Same here. Excellent.
You are recording these sessions as well?
As of now, I am recording, yes, and I hope the recordings are successful because this is the first time we are doing it over Google Meet and I am recording it using QuickTime.
Okay.
So I don't know. Sometimes the audio, I forgot audio this time. I hope it works.
So my suggestion would be, upload those recordings to the YouTube.
See, I have uploaded a lot of these things on YouTube already. Didn't get time. I created a private channel also for OSI group and all that. Didn't get time actually to, publish it in the group or publish it on the website. Honestly, all these efforts of managing the membership, managing the website, uploading the videos, all are single-handed, so a bit tight on that.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vivek.
Any questions, guys, on this session? Anything that you would like to understand in detail? Any queries, any doubts? Or we are good to go?
We are good to go.
All righty. Okay.
Already implemented.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much,
But we need to
friends.
start somewhere and then group has to taken care of. Okay, certain things. Me and Vivek are joining and Raman is also there and Mr. Krishna is also helping us out in that. So we are looking forward if we are 10 members even in this group who is coming and joining the sessions. So at least even if we share one tool per person, then we are having 10 OS tools,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for any organization to manage. So I'm looking forward for SonarQube from Raman and specifically one Zintel, which I used long back but didn't able to roll out organization-wide, but I will wait for Vivek's input on that since he is already doing experimenting on it. I don't want to invest my own time also on that.
No, certainly. That is the power of the group knowledge sharing.
Yeah. So that is what I am saying. If we come up with one things, then it is a pretty good thing that we are able to accommodate a lot of tools which can help enterprise level. And you can think of if 10 people are supporting in expertise in one of the tool, and you are having 10 guys who is able to support 10 organizations and all the tools are available to support. We have no need to depend even on the third party to support us.
Yeah.
So did anybody implement GLPI by any chance?
We are doing that also.
I have implemented for you and we have gone ahead with the GPO implementation on that GPO rollout for this Fusion Inventory Agent.
Okay.
Okay, so Fusion Inventory Agent we have pushed through group policy. We have not installed it.
Okay.
Okay, so I am working on that AD interface which I discussed with you. That
Okay.
AD integration happens, then we can open the support portal ticket. Because
So we already done. So we already integrated with our Active Directory. It works. If you want, I can show you. My help desk. Has